Welcome to Age of Empires 4. We are in the Platinum League at the beginning of Season 11. On Gorge, facing the recently buffed Ottomans against the surprisingly not nerfed Rus. Rus, quite powerful, having a double hunting cabin opening. Interesting. Like to see it. So, the Ottomans got a number of buffs, and that includes a lot of changes to their vizier system, where they can spawn 2 metas instead of 1, 2 of their special ranged cavalry, or sorry, 3 if they go for that upgrade. They did get some nerfs, I should also add, to their Janissaries, which do less damage both in general and to cavalry, which is maybe going into Rus a bit of a challenge. But they also have new discounts to town centers if they go. I forget what that. I forget what that that vizier point is called, but I forget what that vizier point. Oh, here we go. So let's see. It's extensive fortifications. Now reduces the cost of town centers and all other defensive buildings by 20%. So it's not the kind of discount you would see with Abbasid. I don't think it's as much as you have with Juicy's Legacy either. However, you do get the benefit if you go into the Pax Automa. Which one is that? Which also gives you villagers trained 75% faster for 4 minutes. So if you go into a couple of town centers, and then you hit Pax Automa, Automa? Sorry, I'm having a hard time with my words this time. You're going to see some pretty significant booming happening here. So Ottoman here, you know, an important thing here is, do you go for the food landmark, or do you go for the Imperial Sultanhani Trade Network, excuse me. And it's going to be the Trin Minaret Madrasa. Now, I don't hate this. I mean, you could put it up against these berries, and then it's also a drop-off point for those. You have food for the rest of the game. I don't know. They have a pretty good sheep haul, and the next gold is pretty far away. The next gold, you have to secure one of the 2 flanks, either your northern flank or your southern flank. A little more to the north here. So that food is good early, but the option to get that extra passive, well, it's relatively passive gold from the, not the Saharan Trade Network. Why can't I remember the name of this one? Sultanhani Trade Network. Getting confused with the Malian landmarks. No big surprise here. Golden Gate really has been in the meta for quite some time now. It's not a bad map to go for Kremlin. You go right here, you have 2 wood lines getting that wood buff. Pretty powerful stuff. But going for the more common landmarks on both sides here. Part of what I do like about the Sultanhani Trade Network is you mass up those traders, and if you do have the map control later, you can pop them out and run them over to a trade post and get a full amount of trade. But, you know, and if you lose that map control, you can retreat and bring them back. But I'm not going to go for it here. I'm going to go for the safe berries. Again, losing a little by not putting it right on those right there. But that said, we're up and running here. Not macroing yet. Don't have quite the wood on the Ottoman side. Or I should say they're about to have enough wood, but haven't gone yet for any military buildings. Now they're coming out with a stable. Okay. For the Rus, they have the resources in hand at age up, have yet to queue up a building. Sometimes we see naked fast castles from the Rus. We want to get into those horse archers that are very affordable, especially compared to something like a camel archer. Very affordable mounted cavalry. Ranged cavalry, I should say. So stable coming up here. It's already shift queued directly to the Golden Gate, probably looking to hit the town center. And a Sipahi ready to roll off. Roost here. Still have yet to claim any actual gold. Collecting it passively. 25 from this hunting cabin. 25 from this one. That's not going to be enough to get up to castle. 5 on wood. It's unclear exactly what the roosts are heading towards. Of course you know what the roosts are heading towards. Heading towards professional scouts. Of course they are. I should have known. Now, the Sipahi out here, able to chase them away, and the roost being bold, trying to go after the most aggressive one first. And now they're able to be tracked here. Keeping an eye on the roost scouts, the Ottomans are, to try to figure out where to send the Sipahi. Now we have 2 Sipahi out, gonna guard up there near Deer. Deer pushing, of course, has been nerfed, so not able to just shove it over like you would maybe this one. Now we do see the roost picking this up and getting the safer ones near. So, beneficial, not incredibly great. For me, the value of getting a hunting cabin out here, getting that passive gold, maybe getting a wooden fortress up that allows you to also buff the wood collection in that area thereafter, protect the villagers. You have a long-term synergistic benefit there, but not going for it. From the Ottoman perspective, not sure why they're killing the deer, other than maybe keeping them close for their own collection later. Scout giving the Sipahi the runaround. The others are going to try to meet it and cut it off. So 4 Sipahi on the field. Range is coming down. No, I see a ranged unit. Aha. Military school, making archers. Blacksmith down to boost production. Now, one strategy you can employ is that if you go into a fast castle yourself, as they guard up this next deer patch. I don't think, is that the next? What other deer patches do we have? You have this one over here, so the roost should be able to easily pick up 2. But what I was going to say is that while the guaranteed food and the gold collection from professional scouts is amazing, you do have the potential to get a somewhat quicker fast castle, admittedly with fewer resources in hand thereafter, when you go into a straight fast castle yourself here. But we have a second military school coming up here. Archers being produced. I feel like you'd rather make Sipahi that are a bit more expensive, but they do come out relatively quick, these archers. Spears, protecting, escorting the scouts. Probably didn't have enough to take this. So, still getting 2 deer hauls, 2 entire deer herds in is going to be pretty valuable here. A single horseman coming out. Oh, and this scout's going to get annihilated. Now, this horseman going out here on their own, I don't know if this is simply to just distract, sacrifice them so that they stay off of your side of the map, and you just, act fine. Patrol position out here, keeping an eye on these. And we already see the recently nerfed High Trade House. Nerfed, but still probably pretty strong. The only nerf was to the radius. The radius of where the gold collection impact comes in is just a bit... the radius for the gold collection is reduced, I think, by a tile. So, not a huge nerf. Pretty good position. You also could have maybe scooched it over a little and gotten a bit more. But the Rus really having their cake and eating it too here. Has a non-trivial amount of military out. Good chunk of it is scouts, but they have the knight. they have the hardened spearmen. Monastery coming down, going to try to scoop up those relics. And now the Ottomans have to make a decision. What do they want to go into? Now the Mahmed Imperial... Oh. Excuse me, we already have it. The Mahmed Imperial Armory is coming up here. I thought, wait a second. Where is it? Coming up in the back of the base, around the influence of the blacksmith. Siege, going to be particularly helpful. The mangonels that come out, if you can trap them, can be effective even against the horse archers that they like to produce. Now another stable coming down, in addition to the range, in addition to the barracks. No buffed wood collection, no wooden fortress coming out, so they're not getting that 20% bonus that you would get. So, I don't know if I'd call it a mistake, but they haven't prioritized it. They have the wood for it. And they could be looking for using the tickets out of the Golden Gate. They're using it right now to get gold. You can see they pulled it, got 600 out. It's probably how they might have boosted their age up. Knights coming out. One building producing. Archers coming out of another. So what do the Ottomans want to do at this point? Well, you need to make sure you have enough to deal with the knights that come out. Those are the big damage dealers. I don't think that they've picked up on the fact that the Rus are going to be using those warrior monks to go get the relics. We see them camping it up out here. Grabbing this one first. Moving in an offensive position to go towards the second one. And the Rus are in an excellent position here to really make a... as the scout gets chased away. Farm economy's coming down. So major, really smooth work coming in here. Blacksmith coming down now, going to get that extra benefit here. No one collecting deer. I think that's a mistake. They'll be able to collect it later, but you want to stay on top of those deer. It's food. That's free. It's gold. That is free. And a curious decision here to engage. Archers went up with those spears that went up directly. But the archers are now going to get out of position here. So the Ottomans, while maybe behind economically and losing some tempo, are able to pick up on a pretty bad engagement here by the Rus. Picking a fight with the wrong units in the wrong place. Very on top of it. Ottomans not getting flustered by the fact that, well, maybe they just don't know how far ahead the Rus are able to get. 2 relics in for the Rus at this point. The scouts are going to tank up that damage, distract the enemy. But no spears coming out yet. Crossbows, knights, another knight. The Ottoman mass is building. They have that production, that ability to really get out large armies quickly. I remember that from the trailer. They talked about that. People speculated, well, what do they mean large armies? Are they going to have a bigger pop? Are they going to have tankier units that just feel like more? But no, it was the secret to the blacksmith and the free production of units. The first Springald is coming out. Interesting choice here. I don't know if I love it. You do have 3 spearmen. The Springalds do well against them, to be sure. We'll talk about them. I've been seeing a lot of Springalds in production. They do quite well here. Bonus damage against melee infantry. And they go through the mass pretty well. That's the important thing. So the second Springald is rolling off the blocks here. A large force coming down. And Akinji. This was one of the buffed, the Vizier Point buffs we talked about, where you're able to unlock it and get it instantly. So, well played here. The next Vizier Point is not far away here. Gonna be able to get their own, and now it's a full monastery. Can't put the relic in there. Gotta put it somewhere else, bub. And for some reason, that warrior monk took another one out. Might have been a mistake. Put it back in. Maybe gonna go for the Wololo here. The archers are picking it apart. They're gonna drop it off or give it to another one. Good defense here by the Rus, but they're running thin on numbers. Akinji, 10 bow, 110 health. They're not the most powerful units. Big hold here by the Rus, able to survive with their warrior monk. 4 relics in now. 5th relic being camped out here by the Ottomans. So a bad engagement taken earlier by the Rus really did a number on the Rus army, but a bad engagement here pushed too far in into a little choke point here. And now the Ottomans are going to have to play catch up. Food per minute, huge food per minute advantage here for the Rus. 15 a minute, 1,500 a minute, only 300 a minute. Are they making farms? No, they're collecting 8,000 wood per minute. So farm transition probably coming in sooner than later. Spy being chased away by the knights. So I feel like the Ottomans have to go into more spearmen. They're going to need to be able to hard counter the Rus knights. Now the full Rus army, well, almost the full Rus army up here, and it's going to shove away the veteran Akinji. Relics scooped up. It's going to be 5 relics for the Rus. I don't see them denying this. So big passive gold advantage here. You have the hunting cabins. You have the high trade house. They're still eating the meat that gives them gold. And now the raids begin. No villagers have been killed yet, but I think that's going to change pretty quickly here. 1 villager down. A second one about to get to go down. There's no more room in there. Couple more. 3, 4, 5, 6. And the Akinji not producing the kind of benefit you'd want to see. And it's funny because it's almost like the Akinji are role-playing as the Rus. The Rus love to go castle and get their horse archers out there. And it's up to everyone else to try to find a way of countering it. But here, maybe inspired by the new patch and the power of it, they're able to clean up this mass, but the military advantage elsewhere on the map still holds for the Rus. Rus going to regroup south of the central sacred site, really the focal point of this match. And the Ottomans may be overestimating their position. I don't see a scout on the map for them. No scout on the map, and the Akinji are going to do absolutely terrible against these knights. The kiting, trying to kite, not quite able to get away from them. The spearmen out with their decidedly non-spear. That is not a spear they're carrying. But it says spear in the tooltip, so it's a spear. Farms coming down, no defenses here. And they're going to get ripped apart here. 19 villager kills. It's going to go up here past 20 now. Major economic advantage here by the Rus in every way. The passive gold, the villager increase. You have the Golden Gate there to increase your economic output. And GG is called. I also want to point out they weren't using the berries from their landmark, so maybe not identifying what they needed, not using the resources they had available. Rus, not nerfed, but the buffs of the Ottoman, still not enough to overcome it. You want to look at the score. I mean, the score doesn't tell you a huge amount, but I think it is somewhat compared to the total resources gathered. And you can see the Rus were just able to consistently, they had a lot, and what I want is gathered here. Resources gathered. Yeah, consistently just having a lot more in the bank. The Ottomans didn't really do anything to counter the overall production ability. They didn't go into additional town centers. They didn't go to additional production speed. They didn't go for the meter, which gives you additional mining speed. So without buffs to your economy, there's not a whole lot you can do against somebody with that much economic juice as the Rus. Well, thanks for joining this game, and we'll catch you in the next one.